Hare Krishna. It is the Lord Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you and Hari Bol to Meenakshi Moini and Aarti Mataji for leading the chanting. Let's lead our prayers, Mangalacharan, and then reading. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, anybody would like to try singing today? Sangeeta Mataji, you want to give it a try? प्रैक्टिस किया आपने संगीता माता जी? Okay, आप म्यूट पे हैं. Alright, anybody else would like to try? Okay. Alright, then I will continue. But this is very, very simple melody, so hopefully you can just practice once and twice and then it should be good. Because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has composed this melody or this Shikshashtakam prayers in this particular meter.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you share the melody again one more time, please?
Sure.
Just gonna give it a shot.
Yes. Tuhudoya sagar taraite prani. Mostly the last two words will come together and everything before will come together. So in that sense you can do like Tuhudoya sagar taraite prani Nama aneka tuva shikhauliyani.
I can give it a shot, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, please.
That is a good cue. So we should say the second verse of Shikshashtakam first. Nam namakari bahuda nij sarva shakti tatra prita niyamita smarnena kalaha etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi Dhruvadevam idrisham iha jani nanua ragaha Tunu doya sagara Tarayite prani Nama anika tuva Shikholiyani Sakala shakati dei Nami tuhara Grahani rakholi nahi Kala vichara Shri Nama Chintamani Tohari Samana Vishwe Bilowali Karuna Nidana Tuvadoy Aichana Paramudara Atishoy Mandanatha Bhaga Hamara Nahi Janmalo Name Anuraga Mora Bhagati Vinoda Chita Dukhi Vibhora Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Very nice. Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Shri Gitavali ki jai, Shri Shikshashtakam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You can read the translation also, Mataji.
Sure, Prabhuji. O Lord, you are an ocean of mercy. You have brought your innumerable holy names to this world and have taught the chanting of them to the fallen living beings just for their deliverance. You invest all your energies in your own holy name and for chanting your your holy name, you have not established any rules such as consideration of time or place. Your divine holy name, being non different from you, is like touchstone. You have distributed holy name and throughout the entire creation, and that is the essence of your kindness. Such is your mercy, which is supremely magnanimous. O Lord, but I am extremely unfortunate. My attraction for the holy name has never come about. Therefore, the heart of Bhakti Vinoda is overwhelmed with sadness.
Hey
Thank you,
Krishna, thank
Prabhuji.
you. Any reflections?
Um, so, yes, give me one second. I was looking. So it talks about the holy name, and sometimes we say, "What is in the name?" Right? When we try to come about things, we just say, "What is in the name?" It's the bhav that matters, but also the name has a big reference. When just a little reference from Ramayana. Sorry, that's the only
Yes.
thing I know how to connect. Uh, uh, when uh, when the four brothers were born, and then they on 11th day when there was a naming ceremony, and Valmiki Rishi came in and he said, it's about time. We have had enough enough celebrations and stuff. It's time to start naming. Valmiki said it was 11th day, but Ramcharitmanas said it was after 30 days. So I don't know which one is correct, but we'll go with Valmiki Ramayana. And he said, it's 11 days and let's do the naming ceremony. And so the way these guys were named was that Rama's name was given as somebody just by chanting whose name people became jubilant. All the anxiety was gone. That's why Rama was named that. It was like Asti. No, it was Rama is defined as Ramante Sarve Jana Gunai Ashminiti Ramaha, in whom people will take delight just for his virtueness. That's Rama. And then Bharata was defined as Bharata Rajya Bharanath, Bhibarti iti Bharata. Bharata, because he has to bear the burden, the bar of the kingdom of Rama during Ram's exiles. Valmiki Rishi knew everything what was going to happen. So, and Lakshman, I love the way Lakshman was named. This is my most favorite. Lakshman is called Lakshmi Sampanno, that he was blessed with the Lakshmi. Lakshmi means the opulence, the wealth, and it was not the wealth of materialistic world. It was the wealth of seva and the love and the bhav. He was favored flourisher, is that's what it says. He was endowed. His Lakshmi was his dedication towards Rama. And not once in 14 years of exile, Rama had to look for Lakshman. Where is he? Why is he not doing the service he said he will do? So that's what Lakshman was. So, and then Shatrughna, even though Shatrughna was named, destroyer of the enemies, but Shatrughna in his life only killed one asur, that was Lavana that is something like. But Shatrughna was the one who killed the ego inside him. He had no evil. So he was the conqueror of his mind and his heart and his body. So that's why the name Shatrughna comes into play. So just by chanting the names of different Vishnu tattvas, I think we can get somewhere, and that's all we need in our life. If we know the Nam, if we continuously chanting the name of Rama or Krishna or whichever way we decide, if we invest all energies, just like the second verse says, yes, you invest all your energies in the holy name and for chanting name, there are no rules established. We can do it anytime, anywhere. So thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So nice. Thank you for sharing that from Sri Ramayan, as always. And thank you so much for nicely doing your service also in terms of reciting this prayer, taking the plunge but you didn't take the plunge. Ram Bhagwan already created the bridge for you, so you were able to walk on the bridge. So thank you so much for, and then yeah, it was very nice. Thank you for sharing the significance of all the names. And it reminded me as you were speaking about the theme, connecting back to what we are reading in teachings of Lord Kapila yesterday. Prabhupada's message was also very similar to what you just said about the mood of service. The mood of service both with the Lord and separated from the Lord, right? So that is kind of the service that you talked about, of how Bharat Maharaj is an epitome actually of service, because service in separation, right? He, like Prabhupada was saying yesterday, that the bhakti should be unmotivated, uninterrupted. It should be spontaneous, continuous. Like it should not be ahaytuki apratihata. So we say, and Bharat Maharaj is a perfect example of that, because most of us, and I can speak for myself, we try to do bhakti. Right? At least we can get to uninterrupted part. We can try to do it consistently, try to do it continuously, as much as possible. Whether be it at the center, we do any kind of services that we do. We can try at least our best to become uninterrupted, but to become unmotivated, that is very, very difficult. Right? Being completely selfless and just doing it for the Lord, not expecting anything in return, that is very, very difficult. And that is what Bharat Maharaj exemplified. He is the topmost example, right? In terms of, he kept nothing. I mean, he had the opportunity to become the king and take the throne, but he came back and he didn't even enter Ayodhya after that, right? He just stayed at Nandigram and just served the Lord in separation for 14 years. But he told him that if you don't come on the 14th year, then I will give up my body. So what kind of unmotivated, selfless service is that, right? He's kind of the pinnacle of that example. And then Lakshman, as you rightly said, he had the Lakshmi of the service. He was with the Lord throughout 14 years. He didn't even sleep one night. So both of them are very nice examples of what we read yesterday from Prabhupada's purports. So that's what Prabhupada is saying, that we have to take shelter of Guru, because through the mercy of Guru we get the mercy of the Lord. And that is, he was referring to the prayers by Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that we sing in the morning, our Mangala Arati. That Yasya Prasadat, Bhagavad Prasada, only through the mercy of the Guru we get the mercy of the Lord.
So on the lighter note of service, I was listening to one of the lectures of Amrinder Prabhu a couple of weeks ago, and there was something very funny he said, and I'm just sharing here, just to lighten up the mood a little bit. He said there are 3 types of devotees, the people who do service. One is like a ram's arrow. Once the arrow has left, it does not come back. You give them a service, they say, oh, I'll be right back, and you don't see them. They don't do the service. Then there's a second one, he said, was like ant. How the ant goes in a straight line and they keep bumping into people, and then they'll bump into another ant and they'll go. That's why the devotees, they will stop. Oh, hi Prabhuji, kaise ho, Mataji, what's going on, this and that, blah blah blah. And then they will move on to the next one. They know they have service to do, but they will make multiple stops on the way, and and they will act like there's so much to do, like the other devotees are stopping them. And the third one, he said, was like bumblebee. So bumblebee carries nectar to short distance and passes it along to another bumblebee. So they will pass along. Oh, Prabhuji, that needs to be done. Prabhuji, they need flowers there. Prabhuji, they need this there. They will not do it. It's not with the bhav of sharing the seva. It's a bhav of the leadership. It's the bhav of upmanship. It's the bhav of like telling someone that, okay, I have the authority over you. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the seva. So I'm bigger and better than you. So these are the 3 devotees that he talked about, and which reminded me how not to be. The main issue was to, the main purpose of this thing was to say how not to be. If you want to be a devotee, be like Lakshman, be like Hanuman, be like other big devotees, be fully involved. If you want to give something, give yourself. Like Hanuman gave himself in humility. He is Danveer. He doesn't just give you Daya or Dan. He gave himself in service. So that's what we need to be in. So was on my mind, so I thought I share. Sorry. Okay.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. We should know what to do and what not to do. Like Goswami says, always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So, yeah, and sometimes we will not have the opportunity to make these mistakes ourselves in our lives. So we have to learn from. That's why everybody around us teaches us a lesson. So we have to learn and become better in our devotional journey. Okay, and that is the prasad. I was going to say the other thing, last thing was prasad. Yesterday Prabhupada from the body said prasadat. So prasad also very nice acronym. If we expand it actually means Prabhu ke Sakshat Darshan. So prasad we get from our Guru, prasad in terms of instructions, and prasad also that we eat, that we consume as the prasad of the Lord. That is also Prabhu's Sakshat Darshan. So we should always take this prasad of learning, prasad of instructions, and prasad of the Mahaprasad that comes from the Lord. Okay, so we stopped here yesterday, so we'll continue from here. So this is the mood of Radharani and the Goswamis in mode of separation. They worship Krishna in separation and sought Krishna everywhere. He Radhe Vraj Devi ke chalalite, he Nanda Suno Kutah, Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale, Kalindivani Kutah, Ghoshantaviti Sarvato Vrajapure, Kheder Mahavihvalau, Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau, Shri Jiva Gopalakau. I offer my respectful obeisances to the 6 Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatan Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were chanting very loudly everywhere in Vrindavan, shouting, Queen of Vrindavan, Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you all now? Are you just on the hill of Govardhan, or are you under the trees on the bank of the Yamuna? Where are you? These were their moods in executing Krishna consciousness. Shri Goswami Ashtakam, number 8. The Goswamis never said, we have seen Krishna. This is the recommended process. Worship in separation. We should awaken our lost Krishna consciousness in this way and become mad after Krishna in our separation from him. This is called Krishna Prema. And this love was distributed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should not try to understand Krishna by our small knowledge. Since we are imperfect, how can we speculate on Krishna? There are many people like Jnanis and Theosophists who try to understand the absolute truth by speculation, but this is not possible. Athapi te deva padambujadvaya prasadaleshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya eko pichiram vichinvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.29. Even if one speculates for many years, he cannot understand Krishna. One has to receive the mercy of Krishna through the spiritual master, and this is the path recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sthani Sthita Shrutigatam Tanuvan Manobhihi. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.3. Another name for Krishna is Ajita. No one can conquer Krishna, but Krishna can be conquered by his devotee. One should be submissive and say, Krishna, I am very poor. I have no means to understand you. Please be merciful upon me. Please allow me to understand you and surrender. This is wanted. Krishna is very merciful, and when he sees that someone has surrendered, he will help from within. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's continue chapter 14. Bhakti as ultimate liberation. Text 31. Maitreya Vacha Viditvartham Kapilo Maturitham Jata Sneho Yatra Tanva Vijataha Tatvam Yat Pravadanti Sankhyam Prabhu Provacha Vaibhaktivitana Yogam. Sri Maitreya said, after hearing his mother's statement, Kapila could understand that Kapila could understand her purpose, and he became compassionate toward her because of having been born from her body. He then described the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is a combination of devotional service and mystic realization, as received by disciplic succession. The philosophy propounded by the atheist Kapila in an analysis of the material elements and is very much appreciated. The philosophy propounded by atheist Kapila is an analysis of the material elements and is very much appreciated by Western philosophers. The Sankhya Yoga explained by Lord Kapila Dev, the son of Devahuti, is practically unknown in the West. The Sankhya Yoga propounded herein is actually bhakti. It is stated here that the proper way to receive this knowledge is by disciplic succession, not by philosophical speculation. Speculation is an improper way to understand the absolute truth. Generally, Western philosophers try to understand the absolute truth by the ascending process of mental speculation. This is the process of inductive logic. The other process is the descending process, and this is the parampara process. By this method, knowledge descends from a higher source. In Bhagavad Gita, many yoga systems are explained, but the Bhakti Yoga system is considered the highest of all. Ultimately, all yogas end in Bhakti Yoga. The ultimate conclusion of Jnana Yoga and Hatha Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. In the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Hatha Yoga system of meditation is explained. And Arjuna, who was highly elevated, said that he could not concentrate his mind in this way. If the Hatha Yoga system was so difficult 5,000 years ago for a person so elevated that he was Krishna's friend, how is it possible today? Arjuna frankly said that this system of yoga was impossible to execute because the mind is as difficult to control as the wind. The Hatha Yoga system is basically meant for those who are overtly attached to the body. Otherwise, the preferred yoga is Sankhya Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. When Arjuna told Sri Krishna that the Hatha Yoga system was too difficult to execute, the Lord pacified him by saying that the first class yogi is one who is always thinking of me. Bhagavad Gita 6.47. Arjuna did not know anything but Krishna, and Arjuna requested that Krishna be present on his side in the battle. When Duryodhana approached Krishna with Arjuna and requested him to take sides, Krishna said, I have 18 military divisions. These divisions will take one side and I personally will take another. However, I will not fight in this battle. At first, Arjuna thought it wise to take the 18 divisions with their many thousands of elephants and horses. But then he considered that if he simply had Krishna on his side, that would be sufficient. He would not need ordinary soldiers. Duryodhana, on the other hand, decided to take Krishna's soldiers. Thus, in order to pacify Arjuna, Krishna told him not to worry, although he could not execute the Ashtanga Yoga system. The first-class yogi is he who always thinks of me. One should always remember that Krishna is within his heart and think of him. This is the proper system of meditation. If we always chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will always remember Krishna, and immediately the form of Krishna will be awakened within our hearts. The process of always thinking of Krishna is the process of Krishna consciousness. The first-class yogi is he who is always conscious of Krishna. One can be conscious of Krishna by hearing about him submissively. We have to accept Krishna through the disciplic succession. There are 4 sampradayas, disciplic successions. One comes from Lord Brahma, the Brahma Sampradaya, and another comes from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the Shri Sampradaya. There are also the Kumara Sampradaya and the Rudra Sampradaya. At the present moment, the Brahma Sampradaya is represented by the Madhva Sampradaya, and we belong to the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Our original Sampradaya stems from Madhvacharya. In that Sampradaya, there was Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra Puri's disciple was Ishvara Puri. Sri Ishvara Puri's disciple was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, we are coming in the disciplic succession from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and therefore, our Sampradaya is called Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. It is not that we have manufactured a Sampradaya. Rather, our Sampradaya stems from Lord Brahma. There is also the Ramanuja Sampradaya, which comes from the Sri Sampradaya. And there is the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, which comes from the Rudra Sampradaya. The Nimbaditya Sampradaya comes from the Kumara Sampradaya. If we do not belong to any Sampradaya, our conclusion is fruitless. It is not that one should think, I am a big scholar and I can interpret Bhagavad Gita in my own way. All these Sampradayas are useless. We cannot manufacture our own comments. There are many commentaries made in this way, and they are all useless. They have no effect. We have to accept the philosophy as it was contemplated by Lord Brahma, Narada, Madhvacharya, Madhavendra Puri, and Ishvara Puri. These great acharyas are beyond the imperfections of so-called scholars. Mundane scientists and philosophers use the words perhaps and maybe because they cannot arrive at a proper conclusion. They are simply speculating, and mental speculation cannot be perfect. Bhakti Yoga is at the top of the stairs of all the yogas. The first step is Karma Yoga, and then Jnana Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga. But the ultimate is Bhakti Yoga. Everyone is trying to reach the ultimate absolute truth, but the other yogis end in partial understanding. The understanding derived from Bhakti Yoga is complete, and even if partially executed, it has potency. It is also recommended by the great Mahajans like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Kapiladev. Since the path of perfection is very difficult to understand, the Shastras recommend that we follow the Mahajans, who are thus described in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20. Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumarha Kapilo Manuhu Prahalado Janaka Bhishmo Balir Vaya Sakirvayam. Another name for Lord Brahma is Swayambhu, because he was born from a lotus flower emanating from the navel of Lord Vishnu. Since he was not born of a father and a mother, he is therefore called Swayambhu. Narada Muni is also a Mahajan, and Shambhu is Lord Shiva. Kumara refers to the four Kumaras: Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumar. There are 12 authorities following the Sankhya philosophy or Bhakti Yoga, and these include Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Kapiladev, Manu, Bhishma Dev, Janak Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, and Prahlad Maharaj. If we simply accept one of these Mahajans, we will be successful in understanding the absolute truth. But if we try to understand the absolute truth by logic and argument, we will ultimately be frustrated. One philosopher may be a better logician than another, and one philosophical argument may counteract another. But this process goes on and on and on. It is simply a useless waste of time. Even if you approach Vedic scriptures, there are difficulties. There are so many scriptures: Yajurved, Rigved, Samved, Atharved, the Upanishads, the Puranas, Brahma Sutra, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and so forth. Different people read them and arrive at different conclusions. There are also the Bible and the Quran. According to the many different men, there are so many interpretations. One philosopher defeats another philosopher on the basis of scripture. It is even stated that one cannot become a rishi, a philosopher, unless one propounds a different system of philosophy. Nasha Vrishir matam na bhinnam. Thus, the truth of spiritual life is very complicated and difficult to understand. The conclusion is that one should follow one of these 12 Mahajans in order to be successful. Krishna is the original Mahajan, and he instructed Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma is also a Mahajan. Actually, Krishna instructed everyone in Bhagavad Gita, and thus everyone has learned from Sri Krishna. Okay, let's pause here with Sri Krishna. Yeah, so again, the theme is very, very simple. Prabhupada is asking us to focus on the topmost of the yoga system, which is Sri Bhakti Yoga. And that is why Bhakti is very tender. It is not, while it is very easy, also we have to approach it with very care and nourish it and nurture it also with lots of care. That is why Bhakti Yoga is kept in the middle in Bhagavad Gita, right? Because it is like a very precious treasure. When we have a treasure, we don't leave it we don't leave a diamond or some gold on our coffee table, right? We protect it, we take care of it very safely, keep it aside, keep it in a safe box. Like that, Bhakti is also, that's why it's called it Bhakti Lata Bij, and it's a devotional creeper, right? It's not like a giant tree. It's just a creeper. So you have to take care of it, you have to nurture it, and that's why Bhakti Yoga is in the middle 6 chapters of Bhakti in the Bhagavad Gita, right? First is Karma Yoga, first 6 chapters, and then Jnana Yoga at the end, and Bhakti Yoga is in between, because it has to be treasured, it has to be preserved, it has to be nurtured with lots of care. So while it is simple, and Prabhupada is explaining that just by the process of becoming conscious of Krishna, right? We have to remember Krishna, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So, as we're trying to do, we try to develop our love. When we try to develop our love, we remember somebody, right? Just as when we remember somebody, we love them. We love somebody, we remember them. So we are trying to love Krishna, so we are trying to remember Krishna through Vishnu Smaranam. And these are all very interconnected, right? And that's why when Prahlad Maharaj gives these 9 processes, he starts with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. But yeah, the more we try to remember, the more we try to love. And the more we try to understand Krishna first, like through Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, then we are able to love him more, then we are able to remember him more. So that is why it starts the process of hearing. So we have to understand Krishna properly, nicely, through the acharyas, through these mahajans, through these sampradayas, as Prabhupada is explaining. Only through bona fide parampara system we can get the bona fide and pure message. Otherwise, it's very easy to get bewildered get lost on the path. So yeah, so the path is the path. Because the path, there are so many tributaries, though, so many rivulets from these rivers. It's very easy to get lost. But when we have the proper guidance of a bona fide acharya, of a bona fide Sri Guru, then they make the path very easy. They tell us exactly when to turn left, where to turn right, where to go straight, right, where not to get deviated, right. So those corrections are there when we remain attached to the instructions of the acharyas, when we hear their vani. Either physical Vapu association or Vani association, both are equally good. So that is why it's important to stay in touch with Srila Prabhupada and his books and his instructions. Otherwise, it's very easy to get lost. Until we actually have self-realization, Acharyas explain that no matter where we are on the stage of Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha to Bhajana Kriya to Anartha Nivritti, until we get to not even Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, actually, only until we get the stage of attaining self-realization through prema, having darshan of the Lord, anybody can fall down at any point in time. So we should not be artificially puffed up that, I have made so much progress, or, I am so and so, I have been so many years of experience in Bhakti Yoga, I have practiced Bhakti Yoga for so many years. All of these are just material designations, material, puffness of the mind. So until we actually have darshan of the Lord, we can fall down at any point. It's very easy. So we have to always remember that. That's why humility is so important, and humility is the most important message, as Radhanath Swami Maharaj also says again and again in his lectures. Nadapi sunichena, taroriva sahishuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadharihi. Only with pure humility and surrender, we can continue to remain in a humble state of mind, and only in that state of mind we can continue to chant. And only when we are able to chant, then we are able to remember Krishna. Only when we are able to remember Krishna, then we are able to come to the process of path, come to the stage of love of Krishna, right? So it's a long process. That's why we said yesterday also, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you should not think that I have accomplished something after running for 1 day or 1 month or one year or for 10 years. It's not as simple as that. Okay, Haribol. Anybody else would like to share anything, say anything? Any reflections on remembrance of the Lord? Yesterday I had a doctor appointment, so when I went there, I was remembering Krishna's again through Parusham Rishu, the assistant of the doctor who comes to take your pulse and blood pressure and everything. I was thinking, he has the ability to do all these so many tests, and internally Krishna has given us the ability. I'm not doing anything, I'm just breathing, but all my pulse, all my blood pressure, everything is automatically going on without me doing anything. So that is an ability that we all have, but ultimately that ability is because of the consciousness, because of the soul that is there, because of the Paramatma that is there in our heart. Otherwise it's not possible. So, but yeah, that was one reflection yesterday. And then as this nurse was going, he was going out, he accidentally switched off the light, and he says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that." So I said, yes, that is the tendency for that we all have to commit mistakes. And looking outside the highway, the cars, all the cars, humans have had the ability, intelligence given by the Lord, that we have created all these wonderful highways, and all the cars are just going at a fixed speed, properly in an organized fashion. Everybody is driving from point A to point B, at a high speed. All of these abilities that we see around us, again, these are all because of the intelligence, because of the talent, because of the remembrance, ability to remember that the Lord has given us. So anyway, so that was one reflection from yesterday about Parusham Rishu. Anybody else would like to share anything?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Nalin Prabhu? Yes, please.
No, as you said, that is important. You should not puff off. I have been doing 20 years in the conscious Krishna consciousness or all this, right? That is really a good point to remember, because sometimes we puff off I knew Gita, Bhagavad Gita, I knew Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and all this, then after, if it comes in our mind, then we may fall down anytime. So yeah, we have to be very careful for that kind of mindset until we see Krishna from heart.
Yes. That's I shared this in the past also. Bhakti Ashram Maharaj says this about senior and seniority, right? So I said that in the past also, that senior, when we consider ourselves senior, then he says that we become sin here. Like sins start propagating in our heart, sin starts arising in our heart. So it becomes sin here. As soon as we think I'm senior, it becomes sin here, right? But the medicine for that is to become sincere. Sincere means you have to see that, oh, I have so many sins, I have so many anarthas in myself. So I have to overcome these anarthas by only the processes chanting of the holy name in this age of Kali. So we have to constantly chant sincerely with the mood of humility. Only when we have that mood of humility, then Prabhupada says and Mahaprabhu says we can chant offenselessly and consistently. Otherwise it will become checked. It will become, we'll commit Nama Aparad, Seva Aparad, right, Vaishnava Aparad. So with all those offenses, even though the effect may be there, but it will be very, very less, and it will take many, many millions of lifetimes for us. But if our goal, as I said, our Prayojan, Acharya Raghunath Das Goswami, if our goal is to get to Krishna, our goal should be to get to Krishna in this lifetime itself. That should be the goal. It's a very, very lofty goal, but what if we don't even have a goal? In material world also we have to have a goals, right? And only when we have goals, then we'll have the inclination to reach that goal. So why not have that goal as our goal? And then follow the instructions of Acharyas, with humility.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes, Shilpa Mataji? Yeah.
Yeah, just a point on Seva that I had noted and I kept quiet. But, I have been noting that many people, because we are in this ISKCON Cincinnati Center itself, they show off more than they do actually, Seva. So, so that attitude is something very, very harmful, and it also goes to the other people, and they lose their sincerity in seva. So, what can we do about this? I was always thinking on it, and it doesn't help at all.
Yeah, we should, first of all, we should look at ourselves, Mataji.
I know
That's
I have been
ourselves,
doing
right?
that, and I did that all the time, and I kept quiet, but it's been
Mm.
too much. So, I got defeated in that, and I'm looking at myself, but it doesn't help because we are there for as a community and together. So I don't know, and we cannot point out, they just run away. So, and then they speak that one should be serving like this and serving like that, and so it's very ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. And
Yeah,
we
if
have
it
to
is
hear
really
from
if it's
them.
really affecting you, then I would suggest, that is why we have structure, right? We have a governance structure, we have temple president, we have council. So I would suggest you reach out to one of them personally, to the council, and then share your concerns and have a dialogue, discussion, and then they can help, right? That is why Prabhupada created the GBC. Prabhupada created a management structure, right? So ultimately, like I said, first of all, we should look at ourselves, and like we said, and everybody is
No,
going
like
through a process of
they
purification.
they are very successful in influencing the society, the community, and at a personal level, they are nothing. So we cannot leave. We cannot think about. We have to leave such people. So it's very bitter, though. I shouldn't have been speaking this, but it's very ridiculous that such people pass off as very big shots, and at their personal level, they are nothing. So we have to avoid such people, otherwise you will lose your seva bhav. That was my concern.
Okay, we can certainly take this offline. Maybe you and I can talk, and then I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
connect you.
it's
I can
very
connect you
dangerous.
to
It's very
the right
dangerous.
person who can help you.
Yeah, and these
Sure.
people have been pressing like once, twice, not 5 times, 10 times. They have been successful in pressing people that you're not the one. I am the one who will be doing the seva. So you give up, and then finally you are concluding something else about it, like this is not the place. This is just for material concerns of people. They come here for material benefits. Something
So
like
yeah, so
that.
there
It
should
was very,
there is
very,
always
very bad.
opportunity to have that. Like I said, things can be resolved. Only the main problem today in today's world is lack of communication. People don't communicate, and if we communicate with the wrong mindset. So, like I said, let's
So,
take this offline. I can
yeah,
certainly talk to you offline, and we
Prabhu,
will.
what you said is right, but we are not concerned with the world. We are concerned with the small space that we have to bump into because we live in Mason or Cincinnati. And
Again,
there are
I'm
no other
saying
devotees, right?
right.
Devotees are only few. Other people, they are coming for their material benefits. They do demigod worshippers are there.
Yeah. So let's
So
take this offline. I'll talk to
yeah,
you, Mataji. Yeah. All right.
yeah. So
Thank you so much
in that light,
for
I
sharing.
was wondering what is the point
Mhm.
in discussing such high philosophy of Krishna consciousness with these people? Like that means this comes to the mind sometimes
Yeah.
because the progress is
Challenges have been
essential.
there. Challenges have been there even when Srila Prabhupada was there, right? So did Srila Prabhupada stop, because he came across people who were puffed up? Like, did he stop? No, right? He came at the age of
No, but
70, he
it's high
traveled.
time. This
When he was
during
there, his
Prabhupada, what
disciple. Hold on,
happened?
Mataji, hold on. Now I heard your point, so I understand what you're trying to say. So just hear me out. So when Prabhupada was there, even after
Sure.
Prabhupada left, there were his disciples, right? We see from generation. That's the point I was trying to make. That we don't have to commit the same mistakes to learn, right? We can learn from others' mistakes also of what not to do, like as Meenu Mataji was saying. So we Prabhupada's disciples were there for 50, 60 years. There are so many challenges and struggles to take this movement forward, right? It's not like that we are all pure souls so we have tendency to commit mistakes. But does that mean that we give up our process of bhakti? No. Krishna says that, those who continue to always serve me with constant remembrance, right? Satatam kirtayanto mam. We have to continue on the process of bhakti, despite the challenges, right? Because like I said, we are all going through the process of purification. Even Prabhupada disciples for 50, 60 years, they face so many challenges. You go to New Vrindavan, you read, right? It's right mentioned there. It's not like they're trying to hide anything, right? You see all the struggles that New Vrindavan had to go through from 1970s and 80s and 90s, right? Why is it that? Like they can hide that? No, but it is mentioned so that we learn from those things of what not to do and how to become better, right? That's what Krishna is teaching us, and his disciples are teaching. Prabhupada's disciples are also teaching us that they also had to go through purification. So instead of looking at faults, we have to see, okay, what is this situation teaching me? How can I become a better devotee in my life from this situation? Right? So let's do that. Like I said, let's not look at faults of others. We all have faults, right? Because if we look at fault in others, that means we have fault. That is why we are looking at fault in others. That's a reflection of our own heart. So let's look at that first. And like I said, if it's still bothering you, there is a forum to have this conversation. We can talk. There's a council in place. There's management structure in place. We can talk and have those discussions and figure out a proper path forward and solution. So that is my humble 2 cents. So now let's take this offline, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। जगद्गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील कपिल देव की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।
हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you,
हरे कृष्ण।
Prabhupada.
Hari bol, Hari Krishna.
Change.